Good day and welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. We have got in today's broadcast a wide selection of replays of games that have been played over the last couple of days, and we have had a lot of updates, so it's very interesting indeed. To start the day off though, we have got two bots which haven't been updated in a while but are still golden oldies, and golden oldies mean they have been updated last time 3 months ago. But by the looks of it, this is going to be a macro match. I picked the replay and it was pretty big, so let's hope for a good game. We've got as the Blue Zerg Killerbot by Marian Diveka, which is a killer by name and rights, and at the other end of the map we've got Literbot in the 2016 version for the AIIDE tournament. And Literbot has been all over the place. He has been wrecking bots left and right, and the same can be said for Killerbot, so without further ado, let's speed it up a bit. Unconventional build, no, that was the first SCV kill, and let me tune this down just a tiny little bit, because it is quite loud as it is. We've got nice building placement by Killerbot, and the same could also be said for Literbot, because it can do a very cute roll-off. Now, coming to the defense, two Zerglings not making up the ramp. Look at that decision making, backing off immediately. And one only loses a little bit of hit points, so that is very well done by both bots. Literbot scouting that there was something afoot, and Killerbot not wasting any units at all. And pulling back. Literbot now not walling off, going for a rather aggressive build, but with the bio build it does nowadays, it can be pretty safe to do so, because we've got about 10 Marines, and at the Zergling front we've only got 2 Killerbot. Now going for a lot of Sunkens, I don't know if that's the best option, because if you build Sunkens you lose drones as well, and for the price of 3 Sunkens it's 3 drones, 75 minerals times 3, so that's 375, then the upgrade 50, that is 525 minerals and 3 drones. You could have made another expansion with that, so that's not all that interesting. By now we've got a 2 base timing coming up. I think this is going to be a lurker build, looking at the lair and the Hydra Den. Oh, one Ling seems to have kicked it. Literbot now has 2 bunkers, has got medics, so, and the comsat, this one's got energy, that one's nearly done. So I think, and will there be, this looks like an eBay, or is this the eBay, or are they both factories? I think Literbot will have scans ready soon, but these bunkers will have something to do, and now Literbot senses something is up, venturing out with the Marines, pushing back the Zerg a little bit. Zerg keeps moving in and out, just trying to stay in touch, now taking a 3rd base behind that. That's very well done. So you contain the enemy, take another base, and that's how things get rolling. Literbot with the medics, I saw some medics, but the medics are in the SCV line for some reason, now with a turret at the bunker, but I think if you burrow the lurkers here, they can range the bunkers without being detected. But by now we've got 2 scans, if not 3 here and 2 there, so for now Literbot is pretty safe. Killerbot trying to posture a little bit, and if you look at the supplies, it's supplies. Army supply is in favour of Literbot with all these lings and lurkers waiting to bounce. Now behind this, Literbot hasn't been building SCVs, now 55 workers, and the Zerg is at 46 already, so 45, 46. Zerg with incredible economy behind this, doesn't look like it's going to hit it anytime soon. A couple of lurkers burrowed, and now going for the attack, trying to leapfrog, but now with the scans they don't dare really, and with the tanks can outrange lurkers, so with the scan up, this tank is going to clear the push. I'll clear the contain and set up the possibility for a push of Literbot himself. So if you look at it, it's very well done by either player. Oh, that's very ballsy, because there are a lot of scans and these lurkers are very exposed. If you look at the supplies, it's not really going in Literbot's favour yet, but now with the science vessel, these lurkers, their role is done basically, because these tanks outrange the lurkers and we've got permanent detection which cannot be hit by Killerbot. Of course, more reinforcements coming up, but as you can see, Literbot is pulling ahead, although he should push out soon, because if this push gets cut down, this push with a hybrid bio and tank army of Literbots, he can't afford to lose too many units because Zerg has just got this huge empire, now got 3 bases up, more hatches coming, and the 4th base will be up soon, and ooh, the 3rd of Literbots is getting shut down because he cannot defend at this moment. A huge number of lurkers is going down, so that's not good. And basically at this point this lurker Ling army can't get anything done at all. And I think I need to make it a little bit less loud so we can all enjoy my speaking. That's something to enjoy for sure. Now again the 3rd will get shut down, or the SCV will get shut down. Literbot though pushing out, but it's a very long way, and that's also very well done by Killerbot. If you keep into touch, there is the possibility of flanks, and these SCVs are getting low. The medic movement is not really all that good, and if that Lurkers gets off one more, oh, that's very good. A medic got killed. If you can see, they are very low on energy, and by now the Literbot front is spread out because one bit of the push is going this way and leaving the tanks vulnerable to links. Fortunately, there aren't many links, so that's good. And the 3rd for Literbots coming up too, so that's good. Now these tanks are being ranged by lurkers, but 3 lurkers lost at the cost of a couple of spines in the sides of these tanks. That's not good enough. Now the 4th is up for Killerbot, and of course the Terran main is getting low, but so is the Zerg. So Zerg now at this point will have a contain of its own on its hand. These Marines should not move in like that. That's not going to work at all. They are going for the drones, but they kill one and lose a huge number of themselves, leaving the tanks exposed. If any Lings would hit this, or one Muta, it would be so incredibly exposed. And as you can see, the supply lines of Terran are getting very, very thin. They are just trickling in almost. It's very, very slow. The 3rd is now up, but there were some Lings in there cutting down some SCVs. So Literbot has got the tank contained, but unless these reinforcements get there pretty quick... oh, with the repair, that's very well done. But I think that Killerbot should rely more on heavy link pushes than all these Hydras, because these tanks are going to be a major pain in the natural choke. And this base is exposed too, but as you can see, these Marines haven't got any medic support, so that's a bit of an issue for Literbot at this moment. This contain though is getting very dangerous, because if they are going to range down, oh, that's the hive. Going to build a hive, or the lair, I think the lair got destroyed. Now this lurker, these lurkers should burrow, and now we've got Marines too, so this natural looks done for. This lurker is going to burrow, and going to have some hits at the tank. Only the first, no, they both get hit. So this is a very good placement, and these SCVs will get cut down too if they're not careful. And the SCVs die, the tank dies, and now these tanks are exposed. The supply line's very vulnerable. Now the 4th is up, the 3rd is up, but at this point, if you've got this kind of a problem in your natural, you're in a huge mess. And these 2 lurkers are doing a lot of work because there are still no medics, and these drones catching some fire off these these tanks and Marines, but by now it's gone. Going to speed it up just a little bit because the main looks to be done as well. These drones transferring are not really the smartest, are they? We've now got a hive, but how long will it live? Because there is a huge influx of Terran army. As you can see, Zerg supply is getting very low, only 46, and I can only hope that Zerg will learn to get a fighting group together and fight as one. This placement is okay. You could attack here, but oh well. Main of Terran is out, main of Zerg is dead, so shouldn't invest any more minerals in there. And the big problem for Zerg at this point is that the Terran army is getting so big. We've got 3 vessels and a lot of bio, a lot of tanks. We've got the upgrades by now. The natural's gone, the main is gone, so that's 2 bases wasted. And although this base is terribly exposed, Zerg at this point is not really building anything, and that's a bit of a shame, because there is so much gas, so much income, but it's all going into infrastructure. And right now Zerg doesn't need infrastructure; it needs buildings and combat units, and fast. Oh dear, that's not good. We've got about 40 supply caught up in the choke of... well, the choke. This tank is breaking Terran at this point. But there is another Terran fighting group now hitting the 4th. And the 4th will be done as well. So that's a huge problem. huge problem, and although there are some lurkers coming to the rescue, they all get cut down with the scans. Now 3 comsats, that's quite enough, and that's not even counting these, where are the science vessels? Here are the science vessels. So we've got a army group here. Oh dear, all these, oh god, the marines are all dead. So at this point Litterbot is crumbling, and now the third is getting hit. With the natural being out, it must be out, right, it's out. This overlord gets killed for no reason, so that's a bit silly. But the third is gone, and now we've got 1 base and 2 base for Zerg. This base, can it be held with a lurker, with the Sunkens? I don't know, there are some medics, but there are no scans. Why isn't Litterbot scanning at this point? Because we've got units here, we've got units there, and no scans here. We've got another lurker, and if the Terran doesn't get scanning soon, this attack will peter out. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What is Litterbot doing? Litterbot is falling apart completely. The third is gone. The natural has been raised in the meanwhile as well, and all kinds of lurkers. There is a huge army there, and this combat group could do so much with the tanks and the vessels, with the R-Radiate, with the siege mode and the repair. But at this point, Terran isn't doing anything anymore, and if you let Killerbot get away with things like that, this is what happens basically. So all the tech has been rebuilt, even the hive, and there are huge numbers of lurkers in the main. So, well, to be fair, I should let this play out to give Litterbot the chance to win by Killerbot doing something stupid. But Killerbot, despite not having an answer to the pushes, came back valiantly. And is it taking any more bases? No. Huge drone transfer coming up. Not taking any more bases at this point, but this is the Terran base at this moment. That's just not good. Litterbot with a brilliant play, but then yeah, that was that. That was the GG. So that's a bit of a pity. Going into the second game, and the second game will be a couple of new bots with a couple of updates. We've got Alien, and Alien is going to look good, I'm sure of that. Has been working hard. At the other end of the map, we've got B-Reaver. B-Reaver has been using massive amounts of spells and good macros, so that's going to be a feast to see as well. Both scouts enter the enemy bases unopposed. We've got a pull first for Alien, a couple of links coming up, oh, there we go, and behind that take the natural. So basically that's how you do it, you do some aggression, behind that expand, and that we saw that earlier by Killerbot. That's just the way to do it, human players do it as well. We've got 1 gate coming up from B-Reaver, and B-Reaver's got only 1 zealot now. Oh, at the ramp, that's okay, but we've now got 4 lings. And these drones are going to have to do some fighting, otherwise it will be a bloody mess really soon. 1 ling dies, and look at the number of probes going down and mining time lost. That's just not good. Meanwhile, more lings flooding in, so this could be over pretty quick. And that's a very fast third hatchery. That's almost like a human build. Human players like to do that a lot. Build a hatchery here so you can put some Sunkens on the ramp. This zealot is doing some work on the lings, but again we've got 3 lings in. And at this point, B-Reaver is struggling for survival, but probes are going down. We've got 16 probes, that's more than the 9 workers of Aliens. We've got 1 zealot out now, and I think the aggression for now is stopped. And these will all, oh, if these links would have, oh, that's pretty ballsy. How many hatcheries do you need at this point? I think Zerg had it there, but oh well, that's pretty quick as well. Pretty quick Stargate going, I think, for Corsair to do something about that Overlord. Going for Cybercore, 2 zealots, that's pretty ballsy considering you just lost to a handful of lings. But at the other end we've got, is that another hatchery? Oh no, it's a Hydra Den. So we've got a lot of hatcheries and Hydra Den, so you're going to need that to deal with these Corsairs. First Corsairs now for scouting, it seems, and just going on a tour of the map to check out any expansions which may or may not be there. That's some pretty good sunken placement, because you range it all and you even protect the ramp. So these zealots, oh, it's not done yet, it's only, oh, and now the Zerg armies have to come off the line. Protoss coming to grab some drone kills and going very heavy on the tech, because we've only got 3 zealots which are going to be cut down momentarily. Oh, that's brilliant sunken placement. But at the moment the zealots are doing massive amounts of damage. They are getting low, only 1 zealot left. And a fair number of drones went down, so that's a job well done for Protoss. And again you see as soon as the coast's clear, take an expansion, get the income and build more units. At this point we'll have to see where the Corsair is. The Corsairs, he has only been scouting. That's very well, very smart but not very aggressive, because you could have had a couple of Overlord kills. These Overlords now move out and we've got a shuttle coming up, and I think that this shuttle's got a Reaver in its innards, so let's see how that's going to pan out. Zerg at this point right on top with the Hydras, and first shot kills 2, shuttle moving out, and that's only a little bit of shield damage for the price of 2 Hydras. Should pick another place. Oh, look at that. It's well, it's not actually cliffing, but it's just evading these Hydras over the cliffed ground, and it could drop the Reaver to take out these couple of Hydras, but it's not doing so at the moment. Meanwhile, natural finishing up for Protoss. We've got more units, and it's all going to be very high tech. And look at that, Citadel. This must be the Templar Archives, and this shuttle is well, succeeded in fleeing. That's very good. Now trying to go for some drone kills, and I don't know if the Hydras have spotted it, or if they are just going back to... oh dear, this is going to be bloody. And Reaver! Oh no, a dud. Oh, and that one hit, so that's 3 drones. We've got 25, let's keep an eye on that. Unfortunately, that's... oh, and still a kill. That's 4 more, and 3 more, so all the mineral gathering drones of the main are gone, and at this point it's just it's not very fun anymore. All the mineral drones have been taken care of. The main army is not doing anything about that, so that's not good at all. All the hatcheries are pumping drones, but with a Reaver behind your mineral lines, that's not going to work, is it? Meanwhile, the Corsairs just scouting, not killing Overlords at all. Another base coming up for Zerg, which now gets spotted, but with the Reaver being here, it's just going to be a huge mess. And oh, the Zerg army taking up position at the Protoss gate, but with all these Reavers as a couple of Hydras, what can you do? What can you do indeed? Oh, and that was a very ugly one, and the Protoss army is just too strong at this point. The Reaver's still there, and that's something you see a lot with newer bots, that they have huge problems in dealing with multiple things at the same time. So basically you need to control 2 things. You need to control your attacking group, and you need to have some kind of a defensive guard back at home. But this Reaver has demolished the main base by now, and there goes the main hatchery. That's not good. Natural's okay, and the third, which is now the second, I guess, is coming up. We've now got a Templar, we've got Reavers, and the drones get killed. We've got Storm and Reavers. And if you've got only Hydras and 2 bases, which well, are decently populated, it's not going to work. So the Zealot's going to move in, and despite the sunken placement being pretty pro, with all these Storms, and look at that, we've got 4 High Templar, 2 Reavers, and it's just going to be a charge of the Heavy Brigade this time. Third base being taken by Protoss, so B-Reaver looking excellent shape, just a little bit shaky at the beginning with the defense against those Zerglings. If they would have pressed the issue, they would have fallen along with the entire Protoss bases, but oh, now the Corsair comes out to help. But at this point, Zerg is just going to be a punching bag, because the main has been torn down by this one Reaver in a shuttle. And now it's going to be shuttles, Templar, and Zealot streaming in. Protoss transferring some probes, 3 cannons set up. So as you can see, the building placement is getting better. Zerg had 3 Sunkens here, which will prevent basically any Vulture run-bys or Vulture aggression, and the Protoss got the same, so you can't really do anything with Mutas. Well, you could do something here with Mutas, but it's getting better, just a static protection against enemy incursions. So GG, Alien well played, but no cigar. And this is a another matchup, and we've got a reactivation of Neo Edmund Zerg. And Neo Edmund Zerg is well, used to do some kind of Ling aggression, has been updated, so now I'm interested to see what it's going to do, and it has been reactivated. So every time you update a bot which is on the server, it will automatically reactivate if it has been deactivated for some reason by yourself or by the admins, because it hadn't been updated and was doing silly things or bugging out a lot. So now we've got a lot of Zerglings, and it doesn't look like all Ling aggression, but we've got the Lings in there now, and Whopper is having a really hard time. Now this Marine is doing some work, but so many SCVs are going down and nothing is mining at this moment, so at this point it's just going to be a blast. And these why? Oh, these lings are low, so that's why they're running back. And I think that's one of the upgrades that Neo-Admin Zerg has made to move wounded lings out of the way. We've now got 2 Marines, SCV numbers are stabilizing, and this SCV is doing the devil's work, chasing all these. Oh, and the Marine's going down again. One more's coming up, but the SCVs are going to have to come off the line again, not going to work. And as you can see, all damaged lings are going to move back, that's why they keep running back and forth. And again, Terran will sort of stabilize, but with only 2 SCVs left, and that's the last one. So I think that's a worthwhile improvement by Neo-Admin Zerg. Will be interesting to see what it's going to do next, because still it's lings only of 1 base with 3 drones, which isn't really the best build, but for now taking out bwapi like that's pretty good. So Neo-Admin Zerg, welcome back, and bwapi, sorry you had to taste that medicine. Next game we've got Alien again, and Alien, as we said, has been working hard. The last game was from about a week ago, which I took to demonstrate how hard it is to do 2 things at once, and of course I knew it had lost again, so I picked a newer replay after another update, and the other bot in this game, Ironbot, has been updated as well. And I'm just interested to see how it's going to pan out. I wrote a letter to Igor Dimitrievich, the author of Ironbot, and he said, well, I'm going to do all kinds of things, I'm going to implement drops and other stuff. There is so much which can still be done, so that will be interesting to see if that's in this game. And for Alien, I hope, although Ironbot isn't really doing Reaver drops, we'll be interested to see if this game will pan out better for Alien. Now the link's coming up, and immediately all the SCVs, or all the SCVs, about half the SCVs, oh, that's about 80% of the SCVs, come up to block the ramp. That's a huge investment in mining time lost. And these lings are going to scout anyway, so I don't think that's quite worth it. Now with the bunker nearly finished and the Marines coming up, I think that Terran for the moment is safe. Natural of Zerg is finishing up, and let's have a look at that. Yep, you're not going to come down here with Zergans anytime soon, with the SCVs coming to, and that's a huge number of SCVs. I don't really know why there are so many SCVs, because you never know, they can't possibly see these Zerglings here. And that's what I like about this map, because it's you've got the main on the low ground, and normally the main is on the high ground, and the rest of the map is on the low ground. So this is, from what I understood from the authors of this map, is it was done to encourage the people, the players, to move out sooner, because you're very exposed. As you've got a position here, if you've got 3 lurkers there, you're never ever going to get out with bio ever again. So ideally you've got to take your natural wall off here or there and just defend from here. At this point, from a classical point of view, it's correct for an AI to take this defensive position, because you're on the inside of the base, but it doesn't take into account the high ground, and that the real choke is here. And the best position to defend perhaps is here, because then you can range down the low ground as well. Now Zerg going for a lot of hatcheries again, and this I think is going to be a Hydra den. Yep, it is. Terran making the transition to mech, but a lot of SCVs there, and that's just not good. And no minerals, no gas being mined. Only now transferring a couple of SCVs. Third being taken by Zerg, and that's how you do it. You contain the enemy, and you can spend quite a lot of units on that. But as long as you're not using them, you can always use them later. And links can always always come in handy. You never. As a Zerg player in general, you don't really say, well, I don't have enough lings, I've got too many lings. And if you've got too many lings, you can sacrifice them, because they're not really expensive. Now, this Zerg Strike Force is back at base, and with the Hydras, I think you could have done something about these Vultures. Oh, and this time there is no sunken at all. So these Hydras have to come off the line or off the staging area to come in and defend. And as you can see, Hydras do quite well against Vultures, so ideally you would have to have them here and keep the Terran contained a little bit longer, at least until siege tanks were there. Terran at this point is doing it off 1 base, and that's just, well, that's not very good. The Hydras should keep in tight formation as not to get bum rushed by these Vultures, as you saw happen there. Ironbot now defending with repairing with the SCVs, and every time a Hydra moves off too far, it will get cut down, and the vultures of course are faster, so that's something to take into account. At this point, no... oh, that's the same fallacy really. You are not really going to build here. You've got to put some Sunkens there to defend both the natural and the main. Now with the tank on the high ground, it's a very good defensive position by Iron, but I cannot say but that the natural is very, very late. Going now for a one base mech push, which can be good because every once in a while a couple of Hydras move in, move out, and they don't get any damage in. So Terran can set up shop, and with the siege mode being done in a jiffy, oh, but it's a lot of Hydras, and although the tank sieges with this number of Hydras, you can do a lot, especially since the natural still hasn't been taken. And Zerg is on 3 bases. One Sunken would do so much shutting this harassment down, but the Hydra number is now getting really out of control because the supplies for Zerg is now better than for Terran. And oh, that was some really unfortunate mine hit for Zerg, a really good one for Terran. And only now the natural's being taken, and I think that if Terran can hold on with the mines until this... oh, that's some very cute switch into Muta. If Terran can hold on for the time being with the mines and the tanks until the natural is up, it might have a chance, because Zerg at this point is not defending at all. Or I don't say that correctly, isn't defending with static defense, but as you saw, these two Hydras were taking care of these two vultures backstabbing through here, and that means that Alien by this time has learned to attack and defend simultaneously, and that's just one of the milestones in a good bot's life, that you learn to multitask a little bit. Now with the Hive, and that's very, very tech heavy. With the Queens, how many mutas have we got? I saw one, I think we've only got one, but the Zerg army is getting way out of control, and if Terran cannot hold the natural, which it doesn't look like it will... oh, but the Zerg is going for the main, and we've got these two bunkers, but from the high ground, as you can see, almost no Marines are hitting, and there are only 2 Marines, but Zerg now has got complete control of the natural, and I don't really know what's up with this build by Ironbot, but it's not really, it's not very good. The harassment isn't working anymore because the Hydras have gotten too good, and Ironbot is going to have to do something about that. Perhaps go... oh, we've got 1 Guardian, that's just for BM, and 1 more Muta, so that's a very good composition by Zerg. Zerg, on the other hand, could take a 4th a little bit earlier too, and only now going for... oh, that's a lot of hatches. And no static defense at all. Will we see cows? I don't think it will, because these Zergs are just so adept at tearing down the enemy base. And that's just marvellous. Zerg getting away with the bare minimum. If you've got a squad that can defend versus backstabbing vultures here, you don't really need static defense. If you get on the back foot, it would be nice to have a Sunken here, but all the money can be invested in combat units. And that is what made the push possible, because the Terran couldn't really get out, was doing too much of one base. Zerg took advantage of that, and whoa, Ultralisk, but I think, well, that's 2 already. And Zerg just putting all the stops in the tech department, now with the 4th up. And that's that, as they say. So that's the GG, more Guardians morphing, and Alien is going to be a bot to keep a look on, to look out for, because it's going to be very, very good in the not too distant future. Another Zerg which has been doing very well is Steamhammer, and Steamhammer has been suggested by some as to use as the new platform bot to start your own bot from, because it is a it's so very well done and well documented, so it's very easy to get into, and it has a lot of functionalities built into it already. So that's what you see. People make a bot. It's all open source for the 2 other tournaments. For our tournament it's not, it's just more about fun and about beautiful games. But for the CIG and the AIIDE, which are more academic tournaments, you've got to publish the source of your bot. So there's a lot of open source material to start your bot from, and that really helps, and you can see the bots getting better, the new bots getting better all the time. Also, there is less of a tendency to start your new bot from scratch, and Steamhammer going for 6 Ling aggression, and how going to slow down, because this Ling micro and decision making is what it's all about. At this point it's 6 versus 6 lings, but there are 2 more lings here, so at this point Z-Live's Zerglings are retreating, and it's going to be a bit of a tug of war. But the natural now up for Z-Live, and at the other end we've got a Spire coming, so this is really classical ZVZ. At this point Z-Live should be scouting what the enemy is doing and make Zerglings and push the enemy's nose in, because it's got the extra hatchery, and just make Zerglings, Zerglings, because if this Spire gets up and if 3 Muters get out, it will be virtually impossible to break down again. So now you can see that Z-Live is pushing back the lings of Steamhammers. Steamhammer's not engaging, just going to fight on its own ground with the rallies nearby. If it can do significant damage to this force of Zerglings, it's going to be pretty well for them. Now Z-Live has got a huge amount of money stacked, and I can't imagine why that is. It's not good, not building anything at all, and that's or maybe some error in the coding. On the other hand, Steamhammer's got a lot of money as well, but saving some from 4 Muters. Now with the Sunken defending, and it looks like Z-Live has grown catatonic, which is a mess. Oh, that's another drone. I think, has it got any overlords? I think it's stuck. It's stuck on supply, and it can't think how to make an overlord, so that's not good. And that's a pity, because now Steamhammer's doing awful things to the lings of Z-Live, because Z-Live just blocked itself with the supply. And I think that these are going to be Muters. Yep, these are Muters. So Steamhammer with a very clever, almost human-like ZVZ build, doing all the right things. Z-Live was very well prepared to take on Steamhammer with the lings, but unfortunately supply blocked itself, and this is how it ends. So these 2 Zergs will be worth watching, especially Steamhammer, because that's such a very clever build, just going one base Spire versus a Zerg, which will probably, most Zergs still start out with lings first. So you can do a lot of things with that. So it's very clever, also in the build order department. Things are shaping up, improving the general quality of play of these AI matches, and that's the GG. So I've got a large number of games for this broadcast, because I like to do the longer broadcasts if I've got the time. And again, we've got a game of aliens, and now against Protoss, called Megabot. And Megabot is basically an organization of build orders, and the AI just chooses between them which one to do, based on results and what the opponent is doing. So let's see how things are going to play out for our friendly neighborhood Zerg this time. Last game we've seen 2 games of Alien already. One had a bit of a snag where a Reaver tore up the entire natural main of by just standing behind it and firing scarabs till the cows came home. Then the second game we saw a couple of Hydras playing sort of defensive guard. That was really beautiful to see, because you need a lot less Sunkens, more money being available for the army, and it took out Iron, which is no mean feat at all. For those of you unfamiliar with the scene or Ironbot used to be, or is still, I think, the best bot on the server at this moment. So taking game of Iron is by all means very, very good. Oh, and Megabot coming with the aggression, with 2 Zealots and a Dragoon, but large number of Zerglings can be produced in time because of the many hatcheries. Drone saturation is pretty low, but at this point the Zerglings can tear down that Zealot. And by the looks of it, there isn't really any follow-up, because the follow-up is all over the map. And by now we've got a large number of Zerglings, and this looks like a Sunken. So with the Zergs, that's a very weird position to keep your lings. And as you can see, it's still very hard for bots to determine where we've got to be. And now the lings see it, they've got to be there with the Sunken to fight in tandem if necessary. And Megabot, on the other hand, is going for some kind of tech. Will be High Templars or Dark Templars, we do not yet know. Of course, we've got the overview which TSCMU and Imp42 made for this this Open BW, which is bloody brilliant, by the way. But I'm not going to use it, because I think it's more fun to keep some element of suspense into this, and let's see how it's, just to see how it's going to play out and not knowing everything in advance and only acting upon what you see. And now we see Dark Templars, at least one coming up. So Zerg will need to have an Overlord nearby, and I think there are two now with one sunken. So I don't think that this first DT is going to have much fun. Only one Link killed, and this Zealot is not going to do anything at all. 3 Sunkens could have been positioned here, so you don't... Now you could basically run by it if you took some hits by these Sunkens, but in general it's pretty good, pretty well placed. Megabot taking the natural, and Zerg, what's Zerg's game plan going to be? Build more drones, certainly for the time being, and perhaps should take another base, because although Protoss is doing some aggression, it's also taking taking an expansion behind this. So as a Zerg you need to be one base up, and if you're not doing that, you're going to make things very hard for you in the late game. And as you can see, although Zerg is winning, Protoss now taking the 3rd base, having the upper hand. Zerg really needs to come with a game plan and build units, because Protoss is just trickling in units, which doesn't really accomplish anything, but it keeps Zerg in its base. And now the natural's up. When the 3rd will be up, the macro potential for Protoss, with some very decent technology already, is going to go through the roof. Zerg meanwhile is droning like a madman, very many drones, getting some tech up, making, and it's Hydra versus Goons, and Goons will have a bit of an advantage. Ideally you need some Lings here too, but these Hydras have got the speed upgrade and the range, so they're doing decently well, especially since these Protoss units are not really attacking in tandem. And now of course these Hydras will regenerate, but the 3rd is already finished for Protoss and saturated. That's very well done. Now we'll see more gateways coming up, more gateways, just going to be an endless stream of units. And with the Zealots, and oh dear, Megabot just needs to group its units better, because these Hydras will outrange Zealots and take care of Goons. And as you can see, this Zealot cannot really engage. Every time it takes a step towards the Hydras, the first couple move back, and they will mess up sometimes, but more than a couple of hits these Zealots won't get in, and basically all these Hydras can outrange and out-micro these Zealots, so that's going to be huge. Could fight with a couple of Dark Templars. As you can see, no overall speed yet, or with High Templars, and at this point it's just going to be a waste of units for Megabots, but Megabot's got the 3rd up and should have a very nice income. But going for cannons, and cannons at this stage are not going to do anything, because the Zerg are here, and that's some decision making which is not going to do very well. Zerg could take another base, because it's on the upper hand, but with the 3 base Hydra play it's very, very good, and you really need to use some spells, I think, to cut that down, because a couple of Storms backed up with a couple of Zealots and Dragoons would cut this down pretty well. We've now got a Dark Templar in there. Where is the Overlord? The Overlords haven't got speed, so that's going to be a huge problem, but I think that the Dark Templar... Oh, and I can't see how many kills it's got. It's got a fair number, but by now all the probes are gone from here, and although there is another base there, I think at this point Zerg has got a decent advantage, now with the Hive done already. And look at all this money. Zerg for some reason is not spending money at all, waiting for something, and if you've got that much money and are waiting for something, in the meanwhile just build, if you've got 1,000 minerals, build 20 Hydras. It's just not going to, maybe build 20? 15 or something. Build a lot of Hydras, it's basically it. Protoss has by force had to relocate to here, main base being under attack. These Hydras, because they are so few, now more coming up, will take a long time, and I can't really stress enough how important it is to get overall speed, but these Hydras could all have been cut down by a couple of Dark Templars by now, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. Now more hatcheries coming up, and I really think that Zerg could be more aggressive in expanding and macroing. Protoss going to rebuild from scratch, but as you can see, lots of Hydras now backed up by the 7th Fleet consisting of 1 Ultra, and that's the GG. So Alien, very well done, could be a little bit more aggressive, could keep the minerals down a little bit more, but overall the impression is really, really damn impressive. And yeah, there we go. So nice. I wanted to see the update of Ironbots, and now I will pit it against Killabot. Killabot hasn't been updated in a while, so I think that Iron should have the upper hand. We saw Ironbot fall to Alien, which was very surprising, but Alien's getting pretty good, so perhaps I should curb my enthusiasm and surprise a little bit. That said, Ironbot's going for a very tech-heavy build, and Killabot going for the standard extra hatchery with a sunken in the shoulder of that. Very well done, the building placement. Now going for, I think this is going to be the lair and the Hydra Den. Iron used to be so aggressive, but going for so hard, such a lot of tech of only one base. And by now we've got the sunken. Oh, and the vultures get through. The vultures get through. So Iron does a run by. That's pretty good. But we've got a Hydra in the main as well, and these Hydras chase of the one remaining SCV vulture got taken care of already. So I think for now Zerg has held, but the lurkers are going to be delayed by now, if they are going to be built at all. And what's more important, the drone for the third hasn't been able to slip out. Now these Hydras have had enough, and they take care of that vulture. Only now the drone transfer, so Zerg build gets significantly delayed. This vulture gets caught, and now, ooh, that just misfired, and you really need 4, 5, 6 Hydras to one-shot mines. These Hydras should be a little bit more careful about moving out. And now Iron should take the natural, and Iron is now in a much better shape. So although the Hydras didn't, the vulture didn't really kill much, the lurkers got delayed. Oh, and oh, hello, 2 base queen. What kind of madness is this? Now you really need more units as a Zerg. That's really interesting. And you also need that 3rd base. Now Iron's got a lid on things again. The vultures now can snipe these Hydras. The sunken should be way more at the front, because these vultures can even get into the mineral line without breaking a sweat or getting punctured by this subterranean spike. And although the queen is up, I don't think that Zerg is in a brilliant position at this moment, because still no 3rd, and we've got a contain going on, so no drone is going to get out of there alive anyways. And we've got more queens coming up, so I can't really fathom the madness of Killabot. I have not seen it do this build of 2 bases, I imagine. And these vultures cut down the Hydra so hard. Now with the SCVs to repair, the vultures get repaired quicker than the Hydras regenerate, and the sunken is in the back, so that's going to be a huge problem for Zerg. Meanwhile, 3rd base, about to be taken by Terran, I thought, but not yet. Now, how many queens do you need? Is there brooding already? And if so, why do a 2-base brooding build? Because now you've got a siege tank here, and it would be pretty nice to have a brooding available for that, because that tank is going to wreck your entire base and technology, and just building more queens. So, from an adaptive point of view, it's not really all that's cracked up to be. Killabot is very aggressive, but sometimes it's stuck in a build, and then you've got a big problem on your hands. And this queen, did it kill anything? I think it did. But at this point it's just not going to be enough, because we've only got 1 sunken. And if you are reduced to having to broodling... Oh, that's nice. Even a turret walling. If you're going to have to broodling enemy units with a Terran on 2 base, it's just not going to go very well at all. So yeah, the tank got sniped, but that's not really the worst. The natural basically is shut down, the saturation at the main is low, and we've only got a handful of queens, so they take ages to gather enough energy to brooding again. And of course, I'm not making many tanks, is going to lose a lot of tanks, not really able to go after this sunken very quickly. But now we've got a Wraith, and the Wraith is just going to not attack the queens for some reason. I don't know why there isn't any anti-air, but at this moment we've got more tanks, we've got the Wraith, and we've got some turrets crawling into the Zerg base. At this point it's pretty much done, especially if the third is up. That was a bit of a pity, Killer being stuck in his build order. I'm going to call the GG prematurely because we've got more games coming up, and I'd like to cast beautiful games and not games where bots are stuck in a build order. So, I was blowing its trumpet earlier, but Steamhammer has been doing really well, and I'm now pitting it against bwapi. bwapi also has been doing pretty well, and it's just going to be a joy to see which of these bots is going to come out on top. Now, speeding up the initial stages because it's pretty boring watching minerals being mined. And now this probe can still pester us a little bit. Will it get a kill? Perhaps, and we've got some... we had some probes here. And this probe is being very annoying. There should be a defensive Zergling because before long he's going to kill that poor little drone. And that's one kill for this probe, and that's pretty big. At the other end though, there are not enough units, and contrary to Alien, which almost had it broken, this Zerg is just going to pull all the stops on the Zerg, and he's just going to A-move them, and if he loses a couple of drones here, that's not the end of the world, especially if the end of the world is happening in the Protoss base right now. Protoss too greedy, not really anticipating the Zergling pressure. More lings streaming in, and this probe is doing a huge deal of damage to these Zerglings, but that's just a right decision by the Zerg to keep on with the Zerglings and just kill off all the enemy units. So, GG. Then another bot which has been updated a lot has been, well, it has been, is, and that's a pain to see on this map. Where is it? Oh, it's here. It's the teal Protoss with the minerals. You almost can't see it between the geyser and the minerals, but Magrave has been updated as well, so used to be pretty good too with the shuttles and the Reavers. Going to see what it does, and I just took Alien because I can't really stress enough how much I like Alien at this point. Alien has such a beautiful game plan and is getting better all the time, so I would just like to thank that and to honor that, to show a lot of games. So there you go, that's why we have such a lot of Alien in this game. Now, Magrave going for Gate with fast core, and Alien is not pressuring it at all, going for some later lings, taking a position again at the choke. It doesn't really see why it should protect this choke to protect the natural as well. That's a minor tweak which could do a lot. Magrave then going for Goon range, and a couple of Goons now putting pressure on the Zerg. So that's going to be pretty good, but there are a lot of lings, and 3. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant placement of these Sunkens. No way Protoss is ever going to get in there of one base gateway units, no way. So going to speed it up just a notch. Zerg again with the extra hatchery. Drone saturation is pretty low, and as you can see, a lot of minerals. It's saving for something, for a batch of units, but the drone saturation is really low, and only now we are going to see a couple of more drones, and no extra base for Magrave yet. Magrave is going to build a small gateway army for some reason, while Alien is going to drone up more. And that's a good choice. So earlier we were at 13 drones. Oh, now Magrave is trying to press the issue, but rather still we've got these Sunkens, and these lings are keeping perfect position. That's brilliant. There will be Hydras out soon, and what Zerg should do is take the damage on the Sunkens and then come in with the lings. Not try to fight too far away from these Sunkens, because that's only going to lose your hit points. Protoss meanwhile is having its work cut out for it, because going to need to do a lot of damage, or a bit of damage anyways, or take a natural behind this. Zerg meanwhile at 28 workers and double the number from earlier on, now defending perfectly, almost losing no hit points at all on the units, or on a couple of lings very slightly damaged, while Protoss is taking a lot of beating every time it's moving in. Oh, now snatching a ling, but that's not really the end of the world, is it? More hatcheries coming up for Zerg. 28 drones, that's a good number at this point. Magrave really should take another base, now doing so. And it can only hope that this army can contain the Zerg, doesn't get beat up by these Sunkens too much. before Zerg has got a huge army and is going to move out. And that will be a problem, because Zerg will, well, it should have snuck a drone out, and that's something you could do. You could keep your scouting drone alive, just park it somewhere around here, and if the Protoss is trying to contain you, just take a base there to have some kind of a lifeline to the colonies, to the rest of the world. Now Zerg with 2 groups of units, and looks like it's going to do a bit of a push of its own, and these 2 armies are going to meet in the middle. Zerg now not really feeling secure, losing an Overlord. That's not good. Really should get Overlord speed at this point, because you're now losing 2 Overlords, and that's more than the minerals of the upgrades already. A couple of Lings get caught outside of the base. No drone has made it out of there, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. Now the Hydra numbers are decent enough in number, so Zerg can push out. 36 drones in the meanwhile, but really needs another base. And although the Hydras are doing decently well, what kind of attack will we get? We've got Reavers already, and as soon as this Reaver is trying to... oh, it's loaded into the shuttle now. And it's about time, because these goons are getting pretty low. These Hydras are doing decent amounts of damage. The goons now in the mix, and that's a huge... and this is what the problem is for Zerg. You can't fight Reavers and goons with only Hydras. You need another base, and this base is very late. McRave in a brilliant position. Zerg should have been more aggressive about pushing out a little bit, sneaking out a drone, building another expansion, because this expansion is going to be late. If you look at the supply, it's 80 versus 55, and Protoss has got a huge tech advantage in this shuttle with the Reaver. Could do with the speed upgrade, because it might be caught off guard by these Hydras. And there it goes. Why is it not firing? And it's... oh, it misfires, and this shuttle now is has lost its shield. And this is what Zerg needed, and that's really sloppy by Protoss losing a Reaver like that. You can't really, you've got to keep your units together. Zerg is much better at that. Every time any Zealot comes near, expanding a little bit, veering back to take on the Dragoons. And I think that these observers should take a hike or take a trip to the Eternal Hunting Grounds. Now, I think there's another Reaver in there, but as you can see, it's pretty slow, and it's just going to fall to the Hydras. That's dumb. Oh, and Protoss was doing so well. I really thought Protoss was going to take this game, but now the Hydras have free reign to the natural. And the music is so fitting. It's like, now it should be Terran which gets overrun by this point in the music, but the Hydras are all over it, and on 3 base, and I think a couple of drones could be transferred at this point. The saturation here is really too high, and here it's pretty low. So, a little bit more emphasis on the macro, and Zerg is pretty well. So, going to call the GG. On to the next game, and that's again a McRave game, because I like to give bots more chances than just one. McRave was doing really well this time, going up against an opponent which had been known for being a bit slow in moving out and taking the map, but Crazio is getting better all the time. Crazio pushed another update as well, so that's pretty good and all. Crazio by this at this point is getting really a force to be reckoned with. The main challenges are going to be, for the short time, B-Reaver, Ironbot, and I think the new Zerg. The new Zergs are doing really good. Alien and Steamhammer are being so very meticulous in updating their bots, and really clever too. So going to see how this is going to play out. McRave going for the one base gateway thing, and Crazio used to take an expansion really quickly, now doing so too without a bunker. And these vultures could take a look all over the map now, only now doing so. Taking a glance at all the expansions to see where the enemy is, if there are any hidden expansions. Now McRave with a faster natural, and now moving out with the goons, so pretty well done. But by this time Crazio's got 2 siege tanks, and you need a lot of gateway units to do anything about that. With a couple of more zealots I think you could bust it. So if you had 4 or 5 zealots you could overrun it with the goons as support before Crazio's got any more tanks, and if the vultures were out there. And that's why it's so important to keep a few units out there to keep into contact with the enemy, so you know when he's going to push, or you know what kind of units he's going to push with. The zealots fall, and the dragoons come off to help. That's pretty well done. Crazio now increasing the tank numbers, repairing the vulture, now with a couple of mines. So Protoss will have a huge tracking this vulture all the way down to here. That's not good. You should keep into contact with the enemy at all times just to contain it a little bit, not to give it free rein. Crazio mining up the place as usual, and could have done with a probe transfer here. So for now, Crazio in control with the choke, with the siege tanks and with the mines. At this point Protoss really has to do something. Oh, and this vulture got in, that's not good. We've got the Reaver, and I hope that we are going to see a shuttle soon, because Crazio is going to go out of control. By this point Crazio could have made a script. Oh, that's nice. Crazio turreting up the base because he probably has scanned this. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's still there, and Protoss is really being too passive at this point. And Crazio too, don't misunderstand me, because this is a pretty decent timing for a third base, but the decision when to take a third base should be determined on your own strength and the enemy's strength, and whether or not you are contained or can defend it. Now Crazio with the mech push, look at this, just clearing the way with the vultures, shielding it from all the damage, and you can't... Oh, that was a really good hit. But these siege tanks will prioritize this Reaver. You see, as soon as it pops down, these tanks blast it, and the last zealot goes down and the last goon goes down. Crazio in force, look at it, securing the third with turrets again. Could place a siege tank here, perhaps it will do so later. Building placement in confined areas still a bit of a problem, but never getting stuck, so that's something too. And look at this mech push. Crazio's pushes are crazily strong, especially used to tech up and gather about 150 supply before moving out. This push is very much more aggressive. And as you can see, third taken now. Could take a fourth behind this, or just roll in the Protoss phase. So that's the GG. Going into the last two matches of today. And these are the new bot of One Trick Pony, and someone told me it's, I don't know how it's called, it's, you can say One Trick Pony, and One Trick Pony is a bit of, I think it's Australian. And the other bot is Neo Admin Zerg, which we saw with the very, very brilliant 4 pool, or 5 pool, and then retreating its Zerglings every time a problem was about. Now, this drone is going to go down, and One Trick Pony is going to have to make a lot of Marines very, very fast, because there are 6 Lings on the way, and the only chance it will have is to defend with the Lings and Marines in tandem. And the question is, where is this Marine going to go? If he's going to move out very far, or he's going to try to help, and that's not good, because now we've got 2 Marines on the run. Ideally you've got to position them in the mineral line. And will it reach the mineral line, or will it fall? It will fall. And now we've got a lot of Lings, 2 Marines, a lot of SCVs, but the Marines are not fighting. The Marines are not... Oh, they should be firing and all. Oh, this is not good. The Marines are too hesitant. They're mulling about. They're messing up. And One Trick Pony falling to Neo Admin Zerg. GG. Neo Admin Zerg, quite beastly. One Trick Pony almost headed there, and was too slow. Okay, so another game, and this is the last one. These were the initial stages. So if you like what you are watching, these are all AIs. In the bottom right you see our website. You can watch these bots 24/7, and as we are on Twitch now with a partnership, you should be, if you like what you are seeing or would like to further the course of Brute War AI and the Student StarCraft AI tournament in particular, you should sign up, make a small donation to us directly, or like us on Facebook, spread the word and do all you can for us. Last game of today. Oh, this is really too quick. Again, oh no, let's going to play the game again. So I was blathering on about us having now a Twitch partnership, which will mean that we'll be doing regular broadcasts, and also means that you can sponsor us with small donations or big donations if you're so inclined. With a membership, just please like us on Twitch, spread the word, because every time our viewership increases, that will be good for us as well. We need the exposure, and although the scene is growing, it could be growing a lot stronger, so if you've got a moment, share it on Facebook or on Twitter or on anywhere you would like. And I think that was the soundtrack ending. and we are back on the Diablo soundtrack again, so that's pretty good. One Trick Pony now going for a barracks in the middle of nowhere, and Flash going for a gateway first. One Trick Pony is bought by Imp42. Imp has been working on this OpenBW project very hard. Oh, and that's a double barracks, so that's going to be interesting, especially as there are only a handful of SCVs here. And I think that is... oh, that was what I missed last time, because this Zealot is going to have his way with this poor Marine. And we've got one SCV and one more Marine, and this Zealot is going to take that Marine home. Marine trying to reach the mineral line, but is going to, and it dies. So now we've got a Marine loose here. And now we've got a decent number of Marines here, but they are so fragile, and they are just taking a beating from these Zealots. These Zealots, meanwhile, gathering kills in the SCV department. One Trick Pony on the back foot. And this was to this week's broadcast. That's the GG. One Trick Pony leaves the game. So, please... oh no, there was just a small hiccup. If you like these games, come visit our website. You can watch these games play 24/7. You can learn to play against these AIs, and you can learn to code them as well with the new Twitch partnership. Please support us. What the fuck is that? The drunken sailor. Sorry, that was well. I used to have the I used to have the Brood War soundtrack to play in the background because it has not been linked to OpenBW. Only the game sounds themselves. So please sponsor us with a Twitch partnership or some likes or increase the viewership. For now, this was this week's broadcast. I thank you very much for watching and bid you farewell until next week. Goodbye.